Yeah, it was a little bit of a spark. I think I'm really happy that he was ready to play. In that moment, he just stepped up and delivered for us. So credit to him and his preparation. He's was able to, I'm sure going against this team, he probably had a little more advantage than maybe going against a different team. But really happy for him. He did a great job out there.
That third quarter, you guys just got so much momentum. What was the key there?
Yeah, 28 points I found out. The whole team was just, we played complementary football. Started with that first offensive drive, and that's been a theme of the, some of these games where we've been, down or had a shaky first half, like I think of Minnesota and Michigan State going out there scoring a touchdown first drive. Teams got to watch out for that against second half Hawks. So, I thought we did a great job, came out ready to go. Defense got to stop, and then we each got that punt return touchdown. So that was awesome, electric. And, they've been hungry for that. I know the entire special teams unit. So, credit to Coach Woods and everybody out there. So that third quarter was great. We played great team football. That's the biggest key.
Mason, how much does Brendan's mobility do for the offense? Open things up.
Yeah, it opens up a couple other plays. Some plays, those first, I think 3 or 4 plays, I'm like, he's just going to run on this play. I knew he wasn't, it's kind of like Marco when he came in the bowl game, probably a little nervous, didn't want to read the defense much, just kind of scrambled for it. But, provided a little bit different spark for us. So, like I said, I was just really happy for him. And, they had to account for that, I think. And you saw that, on some of the plays, he's able to turn maybe an incompletion or something into, 5 or 6 yards, which is huge for us, especially on first and second down.
Did his presence help Caleb get loose in the second half too?
I don't know. I think Caleb got loose after that first half touchdown. That was awesome in the 2-minute drill. So that's one of those ones. He's had a lot of touchdowns this year, but that was one of the ones I thought that we didn't block as well as we could, and he still scored. So he's just breaking tackle after tackle. So he had a great second half out there, and just got to get him going a little bit earlier. So.
Have you seen a replay of that touchdown and the stiff arm he put on that guy's helmet?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it in person. I didn't even look at the replay, right. But no, I saw that in real time. And he had that one, and then his last one, I think he had another stiff arm or something. So got those long arms. You got to account for him, I guess.
What was it like with the play where Brendan was it was a throwaway, but probably the most impressive throwaway I've seen, where he scrambled all the way to one side, all the way to the other side?
Yeah. So we were running a naked. He's supposed to roll out, probably throw it to tight end, or actually that one was we were trying to throw it back across the field, so we knew to settle up, but I didn't know how long we had to settle up for, and that one went a little longer than those ones normally do. So I just didn't know what to do, like running back and forth, just trying to block a guy for him or something, not get a block in the back or anything. But it was impressive, but I was exhausted after it. So, not saying we don't need to do that anymore, but if we're going to do it, let's get a yard at least.
How would you grade his blocking efforts on the Pascuzzi?
Yeah, I really thought Scoots was going to score. I was jacked up for that. We were going to go crazy, I think. Coach Barnett said he talked to Sully. He had a block, but it wasn't a good block. It was a good, not great block. Good for a quarterback maybe, but he's got to get that guy down on the ground. But he was out there running, and I thought he was going to score, and it was awesome. Some of those touchdowns, they felt so long, and then they only ended up being like 40 or 30 yarders. So, credit to our defense. They put us in some good positions out there. So,
how did Brendan's mobility help Caleb's game?
Yeah, I think they had to account for both. Maybe as you got to ask probably the defensive coordinator for them. But at the same time, Brendan comes in. There's a few plays we have, and obviously he was our red zone package for a while. So we were able to get a couple of those plays, like on the 4th and short. We wanted to go for it, and ran that play. So. I think he just did a great job stepping up and, being prepared for that moment. And, he's been working his tail off all year, and especially against this team, it's really special for him.
What was it like on the 4th and short when all of a sudden everybody started coming off the field and the crowd was booing, and then you went back on and they were cheering?
Yeah, you could see it it's like the sideline staff, because I'm like, come on, let's go for it. You can only do so much as a player, as Coach Ferentz' call, but when, they're like, waving us off, then they're pushing us on, and then they're waving us off. It was like back and forth. I feel like we're running a gasser out there, but no, he took the timeout and then just decided to go for it. So in that situation, we really needed that. So I think we got a touchdown at that drive too. So that's something we got to be ready to do in the future, and maybe just better communication. I don't know, but it was just funny. They were just waving off, pushing on, and because we need to huddle and then get the play. So. Yeah, it was special though.
What's it like for you this week? I mean, after a loss the other day or last week that probably ended your goals of being a playoff team. How do you guys kind of recalibrate and start looking forward and play, to play an opponent like this?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for our team is not looking too far ahead at that stuff and understanding, it's about how we look at each week one by one. Not to speak to last week, but maybe we're looking too far ahead, But this week we definitely focused, I think, a lot more on our practice and our preparation. Coach Lester came in and told the offense he thought we had a bad week of practice last week, and that's why we lost. And this week he felt better about it, so that gave us confidence. But at the same time, we already had confidence from we knew it was a good week of practice too. It was different. Yeah. That's the biggest thing, just having a different tempo and a practice level out there. So, I think for us as a team, we just got to be able to respond. And again, we didn't put out a full game. That's still the scary thing about this team. The only full game we played is Washington. That was a full 60 minutes. We were on the attack the entire time. It was so I'm really happy for our team and how we were able to respond to some of the lows. But there's still more out there, I think, for us as a team and as a unit on offense specifically.
You did change quarterbacks. How did that affect things out there today?
Yeah, it did a great job. I think Sully did a good job stepping in there and being ready for that moment. He's been sitting behind. As a backup quarterback, that's your job. When your number's called, you got to be ready to go. So for us, as an offense, opened up a few more things, maybe a couple more mobility plays, but at the end of the day, it was just about us doing our jobs out there. No matter who's in the game, it could be a different receiver, running back, tight end, no matter what. Especially as an O-line, we just got to be able to do what we need to do.
Are there any big adjustments as an O-lineman, just because you've obviously had a lot more in-game reps with Cade in there? So when Brendan steps in, is there any big adjustments for you?
The only thing I told Jennings is, there was a couple pass plays we got in, maybe empty or had one in there, and it was obvious passing situation. I said just keep blocking because you never know. Guys, he's not young, but he's younger than Cade, oldest guy on the team. But he might be scrambling around back there, so you never know. Never give up on the play was the biggest thing I told Doug and some of the guys because scrambling mobile quarterback like that, you never know. So for us, we were just focus on doing our job first and then just understanding, the play might break down into something else.
Did you feel like you noticed a lot fewer guys in the box when Brendan was in there? A lot fewer guys coming in, just keying in on Caleb?
I don't know. I only saw half the field or, the 4 guys on my side, so maybe sometimes it was 5 or 6. But, no, I couldn't tell a difference, honestly.
So
kind of going back. Go ahead.
Okay, in switching quarterbacks, it's not like you're going to Marco like you did in the bowl game last
Sure.
year. Sullivan's had those goal line packages, so does that maybe make you guys feel a little bit more comfortable going to him in a situation like that?
Yeah, it was 2 different situations. Obviously, the bowl game was we're getting blown out.
Sure.
But at the same time, having Sully in there was a little bit of a spark for us offensively, and guys going for sure. But no matter who's back there, we kind of got to do our job the exact same way, like I've said. But, I just want to give credit to Brendan. He obviously was super amped up for this game, playing his former team. And, I grabbed him after a couple touchdowns. He just started turning and chirping at them. I said, just go celebrate with us real quick. We don't need 15 yards. We had probably too many penalties today, too. So, but, no, I thought, he did a great job stepping in there and, being ready for that moment. It was just, it's hard. You're sitting there and he's been cold all year, technically. Red zone, you can call him hot, but, it's only, a quarter of the game maybe. So, he's ready for all those situations. So he did a good job.
Well, as kind of past is a lot of teams when they get to the situation you guys are this week, some teams split or some teams just kind of, hey, we can't get to the playoffs, so what are we going to do now? But you guys didn't do that. I mean, was there any kind of a meeting, come together or anything, or is it just kind of, all right, let's get back to work?
No, I can only speak for maybe the offensive unit a little bit, but the offensive line, like Coach Barnett's coming over telling us, stay poised, stay locked in the situation. It's the same. It's the same mindset you got to have if you're down 20, if you're up 20, if you're tied. It's Coach Ferentz came in at halftime at 0-0 because that first half felt like a full game in itself. Ups, downs. We got a touchdown in the last seconds. It felt like, oh, we won. Oh no, that was only the first half. There's still 30 minutes left. It was only a 5-point game. I know that's probably what they were telling their team, but for us, it was just about understanding we have to be poised. Take a drive at a time, and after the first 3 touchdowns in the second half, we're like, all right, we're feeling good. Then you got to get back to neutral. That's the biggest thing that this team, this unit on offense, we got to keep being able to do is, if we get a loss, you got to respond, get back to neutral. If you get a win, still get back to neutral. Don't have your head too high. Don't be looking ahead. Don't just focus on the work. That was the biggest thing for us, I think.
When Weegan had that punt return, well, it feels like it's been coming for a while. I guess what does that do for the offense? It's just like here we go, man. It felt like that was what blew the doors open.
Yep, it was great. You know, having him in there, he's been closing a lot of them. He's a great returner, and you know, I've funny enough, I never heard Coach Ferentz mention, you know, just get Coop free. He's going to break one in last year, but this year, last night he said it before talking about punt return for Weege. So kind of interesting, but
Yeah.
you know, he's doing a heck of a job. I'm not saying, you know, apples, oranges, whatever.
Sure.
But, you know, they're both heck of players, but you know, he's been dying for a moment like that. So you know, just credit to him and his work and the coaches. Coach Wood's done a great job with that return. You know, he's been pushing him because there's been a lot of the close ones. You know, it's one block, it's two blocks. You know, getting them free. So he did a great job on that.